If they are slumlords, you are a slum mayor because you are representing the slum people.
It's been a while, but all my Brampton residents, we do finally have an update here on the Brampton Landlord licensing pilot program that was happening in wards 1, 3, 5, and 7. The mayor of Brampton, Mr. Patrick Brown, has piped up, said a couple words, and we are hearing some of the ward leaders saying that they do want to move forward with this as more of a permanent change. I've got an article here. It's on the Brampton Guardian website, so take it with a grain of salt, but we're going to go over the recent updates in the recent article here from a few days ago, and I'd love to know your opinion in the comment section down below. If you live in one of these wards and you've been kind of following along with the story, there's been protests about the landlord licensing program. People want to do what they want with their houses. We're seeing 20 people living in a basement and the landlord thinks it's completely okay. So I want to know your opinion. Should there be more regulation? Yes, we will nod our heads. Or should there be an open playing field to do whatever you want if you actually buy a property? I've got a new hat, of course. I got to switch it around every once in a while for you guys here, and we are going to get right into the article. I'm going to be reading on the screen. I'll have it here for you guys as well so you can follow along. The City of Brampton's 2-year residential licensing pilot program could be expanding, and it might actually become permanent, according to Mayor Patrick Brown. Brown was asked by reporters about council's long-term plan for the controversial program during a news conference last month and said that the pilot program has been a resounding success. Of course, politicians take it with a grain of salt, but that's a positive, at least coming from his mouth, and it could expand to other parts of the city. As mentioned earlier, only landlords in wards 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7 with 4 or fewer residential units are required to apply for a license and register their units, which the city states is aimed at curbing illegal, unsafe additional residential units. Now, we know if you're doing an illegal rental, you're going to skip a lot of corners. You might think it's a benefit for you if you're a landlord. Of course, there's less money that has to go out. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that your tenant is not going to have issues getting out. If there's a fire, if there's a hazard, you're going to be sued for even more money than you've skipped the line to pay to make it a legal basement apartment. And the cost to actually register through this program was peanuts, and they were also giving it for free for a portion of this. So it's not like it was a big ask per se. It's more like, do you think your unit might actually not comply with the standards and you're not actually having a good living situation for your tenants? So while not confirming that the council will make this program permanent when it comes up for review and consideration after the 2 years have passed, he did cast his strong support behind it and said it will be up to the ward councilors to decide whether they want to opt in or not. The areas in this program started were areas that had the most significant population of these basement apartments and rentals that were, I guess, up for speculation on if they were legal or not. And most of these were around post-secondary areas, so people were renting them out to students. We have heard the stories here in the article. They're stating of 25 international students, picture this, 25 international students living in a single basement apartment. Maybe 2 people, maybe 3 people max, but no, 25 people living in a single basement apartment, and they want to focus on the problem where it is the greatest, Brown has told the reporters. Other areas of the city, the councilors want to do the kind of wait and see approach, see if it has, been fully successful or not, and they have seen it being a success at this point. Now, Brown, of course, would love to see something like this citywide. It benefits, of course, the city. They get a little bit of money as people register their apartments. It makes Brampton a more appealing place to live. If you are on Facebook, on social media, on the news, Brampton is getting a bad reputation. People are not necessarily moving to Brampton, they are leaving from Brampton. And we've helped a lot of clients this year in the last 24 months leave Brampton, but they're not also buying in Brampton. They are just selling and then moving outside of Brampton. If that sounds like you can always give me a message at the number here on screen. We can talk about your exit strategy if you're just not happy with what's happening in Brampton, or if you do believe in Brampton and you want to stay in Brampton, that is completely fine. We're also happy to help you guys as well, but that just does not seem to be the case with a lot of people who reach out to us. It is a I want out situation. So When they had their last update, the councillors in wards 2 and 6 did say that they would like to opt in, which is great. And so what they think they are seeing is that you are going to get this more spread out across the city of Brampton, which is coming straight from the mouth of Mayor Patrick Brown. Now, according to Brown, nearly 9,000 units have actually been registered in the 5 wards that are currently subject to this program, and more than 3,200 licenses have been issued since the pilot first launched, which was only a year ago in January 2024. So we have 1 year remaining. The city paused the pilot after significant pushback early on from the landlords, but relaunched it again April 1st with changes after further public consideration. So we're just about at that year cuff after they did their kind of stop and start. Now, he added, there have been 835 proactive inspections conducted and 142 blitzes surrounding the complaints of unsafe living conditions since the pilot's official launch last year. Those inspections have led to 188 penalties, actually totaling a $121,000 in fine. Brown said that the city has also issued 101 educational warning notices. Now, the RRL led to several protests by landlords, of course. Landlords want to do what they want to do with their property, and unfortunately, I guess in this situation, they want maybe less governance and to want to not have a legal apartment, potentially. Me personally, I would say having a legal apartment, at least to some standard, makes a lot of sense. Now, of course, if they had this widespread across Brampton, it might end up making Brampton more appealing to others. But according to the group's directors, their members believe that the RRL unfairly targets and affects law-abiding landlords while also doing little to address the problem of actually getting rid of illegal units and rooming houses. They have called the program a cash grab by the city, and the requirement to submit to random inspections of their units unconstitutional. Now, is the RRL the right solution to address the problem? Possibly, but we are seeing when this type of licensing program is implemented in other cities that it has not been effective. Now, it's just creating more work for the city, and ultimately they say it is discouraging more buyers from entering the market. Now, Brown has repeatedly denounced and referred to this group as a slumlord association, which, you know, that is something that we might have to look into in a next video, which the group said it is unfair characterization of most of the city's landlords, which they said are needed to help address the city's housing shortages. So they are saying that there's still a housing shortage. There's definitely no longer a housing shortage. So there's something here that's not lining up. Now, was this is only a month ago. There was still not a shortage of housing. So let's see what else they had to say. Clearly want to tell Mr. Patrick Brown that the people who are protesting are those who are against the RRL program, and they are compliant people. Don't call them slumlords. If they are slumlords, you are a slum mayor because you are representing the slum people, says the director. And this is coming straight from the Brampton Guardian. Gotta love a little bit of a backlash here. Now, Brown again dismissed the group during his remarks on the 20th of February. He would say 95% of the city supports this initiative. You are always going to have some loud, noisy protesters when you are embarking upon important changes, but that does not deter us, the mayor said. So this is a very, very interesting kind of expected turn of events. You have the RRL program where they want to have more safety for the tenants, supposedly. Obviously, we have the situation where you have 25 tenants in one property. You get stories like that that kind of set off a program like this to kind of get the ball rolling with it. But what I want to know in the comment section, once again, is do you think that this program, one, should be something that exists? Should the landlords be able to do whatever they want? And what happens to a lot of these tenants who are in these situations when the RRL does do their random inspection and maybe it does not comply? These tenants might actually be kicked out and then left to figure out where to live. A lot of these are not above board rentals. You're not going to see them on the MLS. You're going to see them kind of going through Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, private sourced areas, things like that. There may not even be a contract for a lot of these tenants. So my guess is these landlords are not actually using that income and providing it as, you know, income coming in on their income receipts because they don't want any kind of repercussions from the city, whether it's a legal or non-legal basement apartment, if it can even go that route. So this is just your update here. Obviously, Patrick Brown and Mr. Ravi here are going back and forth. They're not happy with each other. Brampton is definitely on the downswing. Do you think it's going to go up? Do you think Brampton is going to become more desirable for people? I am not too sure. I grew up and I lived in Brampton personally for about 30 years of my life. I'm no longer in Brampton, along with a lot of the clients that I deal with who are selling their homes in Brampton and leaving Brampton. I hope that Brampton can become a more safe and a more enjoyable place for people to live. Ultimately, everybody needs a roof over their head, but when you have issues going on in a city, this is just one of many, and it's become a newsline topic that we're talking about here. So thank you so much for watching this video. And if you want to learn about what this program actually entails and what the fines look like, you can watch one of the other videos about that Brampton landlord rental program. Or if you want to know what the most recent housing stats look like in the Brampton real estate market, we got that video right here for you as well. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.